All right, people, come on in. This is what we're doing. You already know what it is. Live, uncut, unedited. This is where we tell the truth. We got Black Chicago back again. Back again. Come on in. Come on in. Share this video. They bringing us some information, some updates from Wednesday and Thursday, right? Am I correct? Yeah, Wednesday and Thursday. Bringing some
Yep.
information that they bringing back from City Council. We got some important information that they want to share. So we need your undivided attention, guys. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. This is live, uncut. Share on your page. Lock it in. I'm on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. Come on in. It's live, uncut, unedited. Tell the truth. And what? And shame the devil. Y'all know what time. You already know what it is. Live, uncut, unedited. All right, come on in, people, because we don't want to keep repeating ourselves 1,000 times. So we're going to give a few more minutes. Maybe I'll talk to you a little bit. What's going on?
We're going to talk the first hour.
Go ahead.
And then talk the first hour, and then they can ask questions the second hour.
Oh, that's on you guys. Y'all taking
what
questions?
Do y'all think?
That's on you guys. And so whatever you guys say.
Brian, Eric.
It don't matter to me. However it goes,
Let's do information at first hour, and then.
Yeah, we want to explain the reality of what happened, the truth.
Okay. All right, because sometimes my people are brutal now. They brutal. Y'all know they brutal. So.
All right, bring them on in.
Oh, okay.
I'm brutal too.
Okay. All right. Hey, it is what it is. Okay.
Whatever it is.
Okay.
When you tell the truth, Martin, it's easy to have a conversation.
Yeah, it is. And one thing
I ain't got to backtrack. I ain't got to think about it. Right.
One thing about the truth, you ain't got to rehearse it.
Absolutely.
All right, people, come on in. I need another 10 to 15 more people to come on this live, and we'll be ready to set. We'll be all ready. Another 10 to 15 more people. Okay, we have 63. I need at least 73. 73. Then we'll be good. 4 more people on. Come on, people. Let's roll. Let's rock and roll. All right. We're on different platforms, and Facebook is the main platform. All right. There we go. We're going to get started. All right. We're going to get started. Whoever's not here, shame on them. You just have to wait and listen. Okay. Who's going to be our first person to talk? Introduce yourself real quick. Tell us who you are so we'll know who you are. Who's going to be first?
All right. Here we go.
Who's going to first?
I'm Sister Doris Lewis, a community activist, retired teacher, counselor from Chicago Board of Education.
Okay.
Next. I'm Brian Mullins from the Black Voter Project and Black Community Collaborative and Citizens for Civic Education. Been around politics and government for about 30 years.
All right. Sister.
This is Sister Erica. I am a part of the Concerned Black Citizens Coalition.
Okay. So what is it that we're going to talk about today, guys? What's hot? What's the hot topic?
The chaos in City Hall this week.
Okay.
So we had the first meeting, the full-blown meeting, when it was time to place a resolution on the ballot so that the citizens of Chicago can vote if we want a sanctuary city or not. The Aldermen's pulled parliamentary procedures led by Alderman Michelle Harris of 8th Ward that moved the meeting to Thursday. So that's kind of only thing happened on that day. So we want to jump to the excitement of yesterday's meeting.
Okay.
So it starts out in the morning. So Brandon Johnson, the mayor, left and went to DC. Right. So he left a substitute mayor in place.
Who was the
his floor leader?
Who was the substitute mayor?
What's her name? I want to say Alderman Cohen, but I'll double check that and get that to you. She's a new one. She just started 3 months ago. So she's a president pro tem.
Okay.
So So she's the first time she ever presided over a meeting. Okay.
Wow. Why would he leave her
So,
in charge?
Well, I think it all fits the narrative, right? About what the story about to tell, right?
Well, listen,
to create chaos.
Brian, let's tell the truth.
Yes,
and
sir.
what? And shame
Absolutely.
the devil.
Tell the truth.
All right, come on with it.
Shame the devil. So it started out in the morning. Brandon Johnson's floor leader, which is his liaison between the council and him as the mayor. His name is Carlos Ramirez Rosas. Carlos Rosas Ramirez. He's the alderman of the 35th Ward. All right. He is also a member of the Democratic Socialists of America. He's a proud member. So he started out the morning sending out a text to all the aldermen saying, that they're not going to be 25 aldermen there, so you don't have to bother showing up because we won't be able to vote on anything. So he basically told the aldermen through his own words, hey, I don't want you all to show up. We don't. Now, don't explain to the audience, it's 50 aldermen, you need 26 to pass a vote. It's called a quorum. So you need 26 called a quorum.
Okay.
So he went to his people that they control to try to get them not to show up so there is no quorum.
Who is his people? Give us the name of his people so we know.
Aldermen, all the aldermen, and I'll rattle some names off that are part of the United Working Families group. In our community, it is Pat Dow, Lamont Robinson, Desmond Yancey, Will Hall. We have Mark Martin, Maria Haddon. Those are the black aldermen.
Okay.
That's in their caucus. So they got like 6 black aldermen inside of the Progressive Caucus. Okay. So they didn't show up.
Okay.
Okay. We were all like, they were there, but they were not sitting for the vote, which is just a tactic, right? So the meeting opens up. There's 25 aldermen there. We need 26 to call a quorum, right? Alderman Ray Lopez and Alderman Antibill asked the President Pro Tem,
okay, Mr.
We need more time.
Mr. Bryant. Okay, I put the letter up that Carlos wrote.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Right. And that letter is what he sent to all the aldermen, which he has no knowledge or proof they're not coming. This is his message to them. Hey, don't show up. Right. Because it's a bullying tactic that he started early in the morning. So they held a 30-minute recess, I believe it was 30 minutes, in order to let other aldermen come in. At some point, they had 26 aldermen there, and they had a few aldermen, Alderman Harris, Alderman Burnett, and then Alderman Dow came on the Zoom call. So at one point, it was about 29 aldermen in this meeting. Okay. But what started to happen is they started to play parliamentary tricks, delaying. So they had the public comments. So that took 10 minutes. In that time frame, some of the aldermen walked out, which is normal, right? They might have other meetings. They may be in the back. They may go to the bathroom. What they did, which started to be what we believe is illegal and unethical, they then call another quorum call. You usually have one quorum call to set the whole meeting.
Okay.
That is standard.
Hold it right there. For those of us that don't know what a quorum call is, could you explain that to us? Because a lot of us don't know a lot of things. Okay, go ahead, Brian.
Absolutely. So you have 50 aldermen. A quorum in city council is 26 votes, which is one more than half, right? 25 is half, 26. If 26 people vote, it passes. So a quorum is enough votes to pass a law, right?
Okay.
Got it? Yeah, it's just enough votes to pass a law. In Chicago, it's 26 votes. Okay. So as they did, so some aldermen left out, they did a second quorum call that didn't have enough people because people had left out.
Wow.
Okay. So then we got another little recess, and then it's when it gets exciting, right? It gets really good. So we ended up, they were trying to end the meeting. So they, a few times tried to make a motion to end the meeting because there's no quorum. That is the administration's tactic not to call to vote the voice of the people for Sanctuary City. So what happened is there were 25 votes. Alderman Lopez went in the back to see if any other aldermen were there. Next thing we know, Alderman Emma Mitz comes over to us and says, Alderman Rosas was holding me. He wouldn't let me in. He wouldn't let me in the room.
Wow.
Right. Because that's the 26th vote. Okay. And so now we have a quorum. Now, even prior to that, we witnessed Alderman Rosa threatening other aldermen on the floor, starting out with Nicole Lee, the alderman of the 11th Ward. You can see animated Rosa's in her face, pointing, beating on the desk. She's looking at him crazy. This is another important to mention too. So Rosa's never came into the meeting to be counted part of the quorum. So remember I said we had 25?
Right.
If he would have called himself in the roll call, we would have had a quorum. But he was physically there, but they never read him into the record as an alderman in the room. But he was still operating as floor leader on behalf of the mayor. So he was talking to the corporation counsel, which is the lawyer for the mayor. They were conferring all day, telling the president pro tem what to say, how to operate. We also witnessed him go over and threaten Alderman Jason Irvin.
Yeah, hold it right there.
And he's in Jason's face.
Okay, what did you witness with that? Because I'm hearing some things on the street that that's supposed to be going. Some people was going to his office not his office to what's the alderman name?
To Rosa's office.
Yeah,
to Rosa's office.
Yeah. So I heard some guys.
Right. So
go ahead.
Absolutely. So we witnessed Emma Mitz coming in, telling us what happened. Subsequently, we find out that Alderman Lopez, when he went in the back, Alderman Ray Lopez, 15th Ward, when he went in the back, he witnessed Rosa's holding Alderman Mitz, and he physically put his body between them to break her free, which is how she came in. And he stands on that. Okay. And Emma Mitz also tells the same story. So he held this black woman, wouldn't let her come into the meeting so that we couldn't call a vote for the people. Right. So that's going to be an ongoing situation. To your point, people would talk to Carlos Rosa, and we have to tell him to keep his hands off black women. Okay. So the second piece of that is 22nd Ward Alderman Jason Irvin was also seen being yelled at by Carlos Rosa. This is on the council floor. And right after he finished, Alderman Irvin stood up and called for some crazy ruling that was unheard of at the time, doing the bidding of Carlos Rosa and Mayor Johnson to stifle the power of the people again, right?
Yeah. Hold it, Brian. Hold it right there, Brian.
Yep.
Now listen, if there's any alderman that's listening, you're more welcome to call in. Now we want to hear from you too as well. You're welcome to call in. So I don't want you thinking that I'm unfair. I'm just hitting one side, but you're welcome to call in. Go ahead, Brian.
Yep. And all the stuff we saying, I see it on the news. It's reported by other networks, outlets. It's people are hearing it out because the aldermen are finally speak out.
Right.
So even before I go there, let me kind of tell you another piece. Alderman Scott Walker's PAC put on Channel 5 that they are going to do a censure of Alderman Rosas, which is, in political terms, the aldermen will come together and do a resolution stating how his behavior at this meeting was unacceptable behavior and unethical and improper. Now, so it's just their way of kind of,
Now, do you agree that he should be arrested if he assaulted someone? Do you agree with that?
I believe he can.
No, I'm asking you.
If it's
okay. I'm asking you. You guys was there. I wasn't there.
If it's an arrestable offense,
okay.
I mean, I don't know if holding somebody from going into a room is an arrestable offense. Okay. But I look at it a little bit different, Martin. We see him stifling democracy and putting his physical hands on a black woman. Now, he wasn't trying to hurt Alderman Mitz. he was trying to keep her from going into the room so she couldn't vote. So I'm not even making a call on arrest. I do believe he should step down from being the floor leader. Our black mayor, Brandon Johnson, should not have a Hispanic floor leader that is that bold to grab black women aldermen and stifle democracy for black people in Chicago. That's a problem. So I want to keep, for me, I want to keep framing it as this administration being a rogue, Marxist, communist dictatorship. That's how they're operating. They are spending money, putting illegal immigrants in people's ward that don't want it, putting up tent cities that don't want it, and ignoring the will of the alderman. We elected the alderman. The people elect the alderman. The mayor is not letting no alderman represent their people, which is what they do. That's a trademark socialist communist move, right? So let me go back to Jason Irvin. So Jason Irvin pulled his move on everybody. That triggered the administration to call roll call again. Of course, we didn't have enough. Now a couple other aldermen had left. So they drug the meeting out from about 11 o'clock to about 4. Should have taken, 20 minutes. One vote was going to take place. So it's a stalling tactic that they played out well. So it ended up, make this short, we had Alderman Lopez tried to pull a maneuver to remove the president pro tem for not officiating the meeting correctly. Alderman Brendan Riley was going to assume the chairman seat. That didn't happen. Then you had Alderman Rosas go up and say, now to keep in mind, he never checked into the meeting as an alderman, but the president pro tem allowed him to make a motion on the floor. So he said, seeing there's no quorum, I move to close the meeting. He shouldn't even have been allowed to speak or even in the room. So he goes up. The rest of the aldermen said no.
Dwayne, do me a favor and turn that chili down.
He went and took the gavel out the lady's hand.
Dwayne, turn that chili off.
He took
I didn't know if you heard me. I'm sorry.
Yeah. All right, guys. Okay, go ahead.
Alderman Rosas turned the lights off on 24 aldermen and all the citizens in the gallery left.
Hold on, he turned the lights off?
The lights off into city council.
Wow.
And left. And so it was the craziest scene. All the aldermen has been there 20 years, said we've never seen anything like this. Anybody in government, or if you watch council meetings, one quorum roll call is all that's ever needed. He pulled a gangster move and walked out on everybody. So that stifled if they would have called it to a vote, the city of Chicago residents will be voting on if Chicago will be a sanctuary city, of which they know Chicago's going to say no, get rid of them. And that's what we want to. So now, so that's it in a nutshell. To start, it's just a crazy scenario. Alderman Rosas was disrespectful, not only in the midst, but the citizens of Chicago. He was, so he's also, when I mentioned he's threatening people, I find out from other aldermen, you're the journalist, Channel 5 reported other aldermen saying this. Alderman Rosas is also the head of the zoning committee. So this is probably what he told Jason. I can't confirm this, but it has to be something like this. He was threatening aldermen over zoning. So he's the head of the zoning committee, and he was, and what I'm being told and what a couple of aldermen reported is what he was doing is saying your projects won't come out of the zoning committee if you take this vote.
Brian, tell them what Rosa said to you.
Oh, this is before. Okay, so a few years ago, there was about a year and a half ago, there was a meeting at Malcolm X College, right? And it was about reparations, okay? And Alderman Rosas was there, Alderman Vasquez, and the meeting got kind of heated because for some reason, Alderman Vasquez is on the Reparations Commission, which is a whole another side combo. Who knows what they were doing. But during this meeting, me and Alderman Rosas are going back and forth publicly in some discussion. He says, look, you all are in the basement talking about black people, black Chicago, foundational black Americans, black Chicago. said, we are in the basement. He says, the Hispanics are on the first floor, and you all have to go through us to get out the house. Of which he was met with curse words and like, man, we better get up out of here. And they eventually ran up out of that meeting. But that's like out of his mouth. We're in the basement. They're on the first floor. We got to go through them to get out the basement. So he has a tendency of racist and bad remarks, you know, but they are Marxist communists. He's doing what they do. And again, they're at a conference right now at Chicago Teachers Union talking about racial and political oppression when it's them that are racially and politically oppressing the city of Chicago that impacts 800,000 Black people. It's them. Brandon, Stacey Gates, Alderman Jeanette Taylor is speaking. Carlos Rosa is speaking. All at this socialist Marxist event at Chicago Teachers Union as we speak right now. Yeah, so.
Martin, may I chime in?
Come on now. Come on, Sis Doris.
Okay. Well, first of all, I want the listening audience to understand that the majority of the Black aldermen down there are selling them out. I can't put it any plainer. Had those Black aldermen, knew that this would be on the table to vote on it. They knew how important it was.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, everything should have been dropped. They should have been there. As far as Alderman Mitch is concerned, she should have been in that body. Jason Irvin, he was over there in the corner hiding. And what made these people come out is the fact that we were down there raising hell. We were relentless.
Absolutely.
We challenged them every step of the way. We let them know that we would not be leaving. And the only way we did leave is when they cut the lights out on us. I watched Rosa go from person to person with this pompous, arrogant, power-thirsty, despicable behavior. And for Jason Irvin to allow another man to come up to him and tell him and threaten him in the way that he did, and he did not challenge him, shame on Jason Irvin. So Jason Irvin was the one who turned the table, and it went downhill from that point.
Yep.
Because as Brian said, on 2 occasions, we had 26 votes on 2 occasions. Rosa knew that. And that's why Rosa was behaving the way he behaved. That President Pro Tem did not have an idea as to what she was doing. And that is why Alderman Lopez recommended that she be removed. And at one point, Alderman Beal asked the Corporation Council to interpret some of the language. But as Brian said, the Corporation Council works with the President Pro Tem, and he works for the mayor. So what we saw down there yesterday was a lot of illegal maneuvering. They broke every law in the book. Now, Brian, you mentioned Alderman Dow, you mentioned Alderman Harris. The only reason those people even came on and said that they would be a part of the voting electronically is because it was the pressure from us in that room. And we were calling people to tell them to call their aldermen. That is the only reason why they came on. They did not come on and do and carry out their judiciary responsibilities as aldermen, as elected officials of Black people in these various predominantly Black wards. They're down there doing the bidding of the mayor. When I vote for alderman or whomever, I am not voting for that person to push his agenda. I am voting for that person to push the agenda of the people and my interest. What is best for the interest of the community, of the people. And these Black aldermen are not doing it. It was so embarrassing to me to see Jason Irvin behave the way he did. Emma Mick, she had been in that body, she got up and left. But I will say this, had we not been down there, it would have been a rubber stamp. It would have been over in a matter of minutes. I got down there at 10:35. I didn't leave until almost 4 o'clock because I was determined to stay there and see it through. And as Brian said, sometimes you want to go to the bathroom, but you say, well, no, I'm gonna wait because I don't want them to try to get away with something that I can't see and I cannot challenge them on. And that is what we did. It wasn't even 25 of us yesterday, Brian. It was less than 25. But we raised hell. We stood up as Black people, as we have a history of doing. And I am very upset with Jeanette Taylor, who has the audacity to say that she was one of the sponsors of the bill, but you didn't have the decency to show up and vote for a bill that you sponsored. Let me say to the Black community tonight, stop allowing these politicians to get away with what they're doing because they are selling you out. They are spending $30 million a month of your tax dollars on these illegal immigrants, these illegal migrants, whatever you want to call them. These people are overburdening every system that we have in this city that is supposed to take care of legal citizens, the hospitals and everything. This is serious, and they're still coming in here. And Brandon Johnson could stop it with the snap of his finger if he wanted to. Rosa was upset, as Lopez said. We had to vote. So I want to thank and praise Alderman Lopez and Alderman Beal. They stood tall. They challenged those rules, and they knew that Jason Irvin knew what he was doing when he introduced that nonsense. But for him to do it, it's criminal, it's immoral, it's unethical. He's nothing to me because he sold out his people yesterday. And that's why we don't have anything, people. That's why the South and the West Side of Chicago is looking the way it's looking, because the money is going everywhere but to our community. And as far as, I won't even say Hispanic, because Hispanic, it refers to an area of different parts of the world where people speak Spanish. These are Mexicans, these are Puerto Ricans who are determined to move us out of the way. They've done it in Los Angeles. They've done it in other parts of this country, in predominantly Black communities. They have literally gone in with guns, knives, and everything and threatened Black people to get out of their homes. And if you don't do it, we will kill you. A couple of weeks ago, a few of them were indicted out there in Los Angeles for what they had done to the Black community. The watch that used to be Black is 60% Hispanic. The aim, and it's being led by Joe Biden, the President of the United States. There's no way you can have 8 to 10 million illegal immigrants, illegal migrants come into this country without the sanctioning of the United States government.
Sister Doris.
And Black people got to understand this.
Joe Biden
and that Democratic Party has been the worst thing that's happened to Black people in the last few months.
Didn't Joe Biden, Sister Doris, hold on. Maybe Brian, hold on for a second. Maybe Brian can back me up on this. Didn't Joe Biden say that America is doomed, not because of Black people, because that's what he said, because of the Spanish people.
Yeah, right.
That's what he said.
Right.
And we
not because of Black people.
Right. So, and we have to get along with them. That's what he said.
Right. And we have to get along with. So if you all remember, in the primary debate, when Joe Biden was on that stage, he was asked a question about reparations for Black people. And what he did was started on a rant on how the immigrants are here to stay, get over it.
Mm-hmm.
He had said to the Black Caucus on a Zoom call that you can find on YouTube if you Google, Black Caucus Zoom, whatever, with Joe Biden. He's yelling at the Congressional Black Caucus saying, the immigrants are our future. So again, these are plans. Just like Brandon Johnson had a plan for immigrants during the election campaign, and they're implementing the plan. I want to try to make one more thing on piggyback what Doris said. We know that Brandon Johnson wasn't in Chicago because he went to D.C., right?
Mm-hmm.
It's subsequently, yesterday's news reports, he went to D.C. to ask for $5 billion for the illegals. So while they stifling our vote and democracy in Chicago, this man is in D.C. not asking for the fix Black Chicago, not for housing for us and jobs and training and education, but $5 billion for the illegals. Man,
this is real. This is real, people. This is real. And Alderman Dowd, Alderman Cheryl Harris, Jeanette Taylor, and some of the ones who were there. As far as I'm concerned, they're not off the hook. Lamont Robinson, William Hall, who went to the border. But have you looked in the eyes of young Black babies and girls and boys who are sleeping in cars here in Chicago? Have you been down to Roosevelt Road and Interstate 290 to see those brothers and sisters in tent cities down there? None of them have gone down there. And you go to the border of Mexico, and you come back here and you say to the citizens, particularly the Black citizens of this country, you looked in their eyes. Have you looked into the eyes of these Black men and women down here at Roosevelt Road? Have you looked at the Homeless Coalition report that talks about the number of Black children and just children in general and Chicagoans in general who are sleeping in cars, sleeping on the street? Have you looked into their eyes? Have you looked into the eyes of veterans who have gone and fought these wars for this corrupt, racist United States government and they don't have a place to live? Have you done that?
Can I ask you guys a question? And I got another call on here. I don't know who it is, 4460, but I'm going to get to them. I want to ask you guys a question real quick. Can you guys, out of all the communities, I think it's 77 communities, I'm hearing that there's no poor white community. Is that true here in the city of Chicago? Is that true?
Not a full one. I would agree with that. I would take areas like where Lopez is alderman, you have a population of Polish Americans, Ukrainian Americans, not the new Ukrainians, the ones that have been here in Chicago forever, but they have been subject to the same poverty line as we are. And that's why their neighborhoods like that. Alderman Bill said something good. He said they're spending $40 million a month on the illegals. He said, if you give any Black alderman $40 million a month, our communities will look like the North Side. But that's not what Mayor Brock Johnson and his team is trying to do or trying to hear from us.
Brian, Martin, the Hispanics have new schools.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Black children are still in schools 150 years old with their asbestos, run down, insufficient toilets and everything else. These people, we're not getting anything. Everything is going to the Hispanic. It's about the immigration and the LGBTQ community. The Black community is not getting anything. And I'm going to stop after this so Sister Erica can come on. You have 20 Black aldermen down there in that city council. There is no way in hell the Black community in Chicago should be looking the way it's looking. You got 20, you can include Lopez, that's 21. You can get some of the white aldermen. You can get 5 more votes. But they are not together down there. Stephanie Coleman, yes, she stayed in the body. Yes, she stayed in the body because listen, people, we put the pressure on them. We stood up. We were strong. It was Black people who caused a temporary revolution down there yesterday, and we did it out of love for our people. And we know that we're tired of our money, our tax dollars going to everybody but us. And understand these Mexicans and these Puerto Ricans, we don't have allies. The only allies we have are each other. Because these people are determined to move us out of the way, and they're being supported by the United States government. They're being supported by J.B. Pritzker, and they're being supported by Brandon Johnson. He is an absolute disgrace, and we got to deal with this. We got to accept it, and then we've got to act accordingly. We've got to stop looking at the fact that they are Black. They Black skin, but they have an agenda for everybody but us. And lastly, Sister Erica and I gave Brandon Johnson a contract for Black Chicago 2023. She put it in his hands. I put it in his hands. He didn't even bother to read it, but he had an agenda for the Hispanics. But he has no agenda. He didn't have an agenda then for Black people, and doesn't have one now. And as a people, historically, we want to see our people do well. And that's why Black people voted for Brandon Johnson, because he's Black. And he played us. He played the race card from A to Z. He played it, and he has not had anything for us since. When he took office, he didn't go to Roosevelt Road. He went to visit the migrants, the illegal migrants. So we got to wake up and understand that these are Black faces. Now, they knew what they were doing when they put these Black faces in New York and Chicago, because they knew that we would not be challenging them. But as God is my witness, I will challenge them until I have no breath left in my body, because this is about the future. Think about it. At the rate we're going, our children will not have a future. They have destroyed our schools. They've taken slaves. They've taken everything. This is about our future. It's not about me. It's about our future. These children, what future will they have? So we don't have a choice but to fight back. But we fought. They did. What happened yesterday is because of Black men and women down there standing up, and we told them, we're going to go after you. We're going to make a list of these aldermen. You can go behind the wall. You know you're supposed to be in there. You going in and out. They knew what they were doing. If they had love and an agenda and interest for their people, there's nowhere in hell we'd be in this condition when you have 20 Black aldermen down there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And like what Torsia said, you talk about the youth and talk about the future.
Brian.
J.B. Pritzker and Brandon Johnson sent a letter last week.
Brian, let's get somebody else sent it, because we got a new
call.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, because Sister Erica haven't said anything. And
sure.
4460. We got 2 hours, so we're gonna work with that.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. Sister Erica, you want to go now or the new caller?
Yes, sir. I just wanted to weigh in concerning Alderman Taylor. I called her yesterday, and I spoke to one of her assistants, and the young lady told me that the reason why Jeanette wasn't there is because she had a family emergency on Wednesday, and then Thursday she didn't come because she wanted to hold her ward night. Her constituents were requesting that she hold her ward night because she hadn't been there in a few weeks because it was budget season. Now, I said to Miss Taylor, now I'm going to tell you one thing first before I get to her. Her assistant, they are going to defend her to the end. And I'm telling you, because, you know, they really did. They wasn't hearing nothing I said. And at no time did I get disrespectful to them. I didn't curse at them. Although this is what Miss Taylor claimed that they said to her, which I know she's not being honest about it. Because when I spoke to her other representative, her other assistant in there, his name is Jeremy. I always speak to Jeremy. And I ended the conversation with Jeremy, telling him that I love him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why she, you know, right. You know, so I always speak to Jeremy, and I always call in when Jeanette does something good. I call in and, you know, tell her I appreciate her, just like I do with other aldermen. Okay, so anyways, Jeanette was real agitated because someone called her office about her not showing up to vote on ending sanctuary city policy. And she called me back. The first time she called me back and she said, "How may I help you?" And I started telling her how she could help me. And she wanted to interrupt me. And I said, "Wait a minute, you asked me, how can you help me? And let me tell you, then you can give your rebuttal." She hung up. So I called back and I told Jeremy that, you know, I don't know if she hung up or we were cut off, but I would like to speak to her again. So she called back again. And I told her that I was disappointed that she did not show up at the meeting yesterday to vote. And she got all emotional. "Well, you know, you don't know what you're talking about. And if you know anything, you know that I'm a sponsor of the bill and this, that, and the other." And I told her that's even more reason that you should have showed up to vote on it. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you sponsor something, you should see it through to the end. So long story short, we went back and forth for about 45 minutes. I'm not going to lie to you, about 45 minutes. And I kept her on the phone long enough when she got very emotional, and she eventually told the truth as to why she didn't come down there. And what she said was, first she kept accusing me of not being there for this and for that and for Wadsworth and when the project tore down. And then she said, "And you're attacking a Black woman." And I told her, I said, Alderman Taylor, I'm a Black woman. And sometimes I have to get corrected. And correction makes us better. It makes us do better. So I welcome correction. But she's just playing victim like, "Oh, I had a family emergency," and she was trying to say she had it yesterday, but she didn't know that her staff member already told me she had that Wednesday. So, and I told, she said, "Well, my constituents wanted to see me because they haven't seen me in 4 weeks." I said, "No, your constituents would have appreciated you being at that meeting and voting to end this sanctuary city policy that is destroying our community." Okay, so after it was over, she said, "Yeah, I didn't see Bill standing up for me. I didn't hear nothing but crickets for him when they came for Wadsworth, so I ain't thinking about Bill." So that just showed me right there, you got some personal issue with Alderman Bill, and you let that override the responsibility that you have for your constituents. Okay? And so, you know, I told her that, and then she told me, she said, "You sound like a Republican." And I told her, I said, "No, I sound like I'm telling the truth. And I sound like a God-fearing, God-loving woman." I said, "Don't put no titles on me." You know what I mean? Because I don't ride with Democrat or Republican. I ride with policy. No party, no personality, policy. And anybody that know me will tell you that. So Jeanette is full of it. And once I received that text message from Rosa, and I seen that he gave all of them commands, because that's what it is. He commanded them. Rosa is a tyrant, and he needs to be kicked out of city council. He thinks that he's the mayor, and what he did to Emma Mintz yesterday, that's called holding someone hostage against their will, and he should be arrested for that. And Alderman Taylor should be ashamed of herself for listening to Rosa, not showing up to that meeting and representing her constituents, the ones that voted for her, to go in there and represent them. And the last thing I told Jeanette, I said that I asked her, did she see the news report about Eric Adams yesterday? Eric Adams had to leave Washington, D.C. and go back to New York because the feds raided his key fundraiser's home. Now, Eric Adams is being investigated for corruption and conspiracy.
Okay, who is Eric Adams?
That's what's going to happen.
Sister Erica,
He's the mayor of Washington, of New York.
Oh, is that the one that said you can't take no Democrats, no more migrants, right?
And no more immigrants. That's the reason why they're coming after him.
Oh, yeah, they're coming after him.
That's the reason why.
Oh, yeah.
And I told Jeanette, once they finish using you and Brandon, they're going to come after you all the same way.
Okay, hold it right there. Let's take this last caller, 4460. Hey, Carl, I know you've been real patient. 4460.
Hey, how are y'all this evening? This is Carter Truck.
Hey, I knew that. I thought that was you. I wasn't for sure.
Look here.
Go ahead, my sister.
Look here.
You trending all over the internet.
Let me tell you one thing.
You trending, sister. Go ahead.
First of all, I don't feel the way Brandon feels.
Okay.
Anytime you roll up on one of our elder sisters, the way he rolled up, it's on site. It is on freaking site. Okay? That's how I get out. Okay? It's on freaking site. And he should be arrested. And he should be held accountable. Because anytime you block someone's interest from exiting or entering, it is illegal. It is a law. He should be arrested. He should be held accountable on top of the fact that it's on site. On site. Now, if you don't know what that means, ask some young folks what that means. Ask them what it means. And let me tell you something. These tap dancing aldermen that we got, people that we messed around here and elected, you know what? It's over. As I said before, that party mess is over. I don't give a darn about Democrats. We better start supporting and getting into the idea of voting outside of that party. Let me tell you all something. Y'all talked about Jason Irvin's behavior. We can't do nothing to Jason right now, but his wife is running for Congress. See some people we can get. We need to find out every single candidate that is being supported by CTU, American Working Families, Brandon Johnson, anybody that those people are giving money to and they're circulating petitions. We ought to get our own hit list together. Because let me tell you something. It is time out for playing, Black folks. It's time out. And if you are listening to this broadcast now and you are available to show up at City Hall on Tuesday morning, we need to be ever present. If ever there was a time where we needed to show up on one accord, it is now. We need to show up and we need to, because you know, they're going to have CTU and the American Working Family folks up in there. But we need to be there. We need to be there early, and we need to be there in mass numbers, letting these people know that this ain't that. We are not going for the okie doke no more. We need to let Pritzker and Biden know that no longer will Black people who are in the know be supporting the Democratic Party. Now, I ain't saying that the Republicans are okay, but I'll be damned if you gonna play in my face the way these Democrats been doing. I'd rather support the Republicans because at least I know how they feel. They not smiling in my face with a knife in my back. Now, if it's some decent independents, we'll rock with them too. But we not fucking with those Democrats no more.
All right.
That's right.
Woo.
That's right.
Oh,
and we need to call Emma Smith's office and tell her to have Rosa
tell the
arrested.
truth. Yeah, and shame.
Have him
devil.
arrested.
Now,
Yeah.
she gotta have him arrested. Like I
should've-
said, it's on site for him. It's on freaking site.
But
He
can
should have spat in his face.
I heard, this is what I heard. I heard that it was a particular brothers were going to pay Mr. Rosa a visit.
Well, they rolled up on him today.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
They rolled
That's
up
what I
on
heard.
him today.
That's
Yes,
what I
they
heard.
did.
I heard.
I have the video.
Okay. Wow.
How dare you? How freaking dare you?
Okay. All right. Let's
Yep.
let's take this
I
other
want
call.
to see what he made of. I'm gonna see how he gonna act when I get up in his face.
Ooh. Let's take this call. Let's see what this caller have to say. 7417 caller. Last four digits.
Yes,
What's
that's me. That's Dr. Rosita Chitanda. How you doing?
All right. Good. How you doing, Doc? All right.
Okay. We were there. Class teachers were there. We were there with Brian, Doris, and everyone else. And what I'm asking, we also have a bus leaving from South Shore at. We should leave about 8:30 at the South Shore High School for. Anybody that wants to come, let me know. I'm at 773-419-7417. So we can order. If we get 40 people, we need a larger bus. So we need to be there, everybody, so we can turn it out. We need to get this referendum on the ballot.
Say your number again, ma'am.
And so thanks for everybody that showed up and showed out. We acted like complete fools, which is what we should have done.
Ma'am,
so anyway.
Doc, show the number. Say the number again. Say the telephone number again.
773-419-7417.
Okay.
And we'll be leaving from South Shore.
Okay, high school. Okay.
And Brian, for seniors, if we have seniors who want to go, if there are seniors listening tonight, even if you're on a walker, you're on a team, all you have to do is call PACE Sunday, and tell them what time to pick you up. It's going to start at 9:30. So you can call PACE, tell PACE to pick you up at 8:15, and let them know about what time you will want them to pick you up to take you back home. You can do that because I use PACE. It is the most convenient form of transportation you could ever want to have. So seniors, if you are on your cane, if you are in a wheelchair, if you're walking, you can call PACE. Call PACE the day before, and they will pick you up and take you to 121 North Park, and they will pick you up and take you back home.
All right, man.
All right. So, ladies and gents, go ahead, Brian. We're going to take some questions after this. Go ahead, Brian. Go ahead.
All right, I just want to just piggyback on one piece I wanted to touch on. Doris, I think, mentioned our future, the future of the young people. I'm 54 years old. My children are 19 and older at this point, and they still need some help themselves, just like I do, right? But we looking at the future. We got Chicago public schools failing our children. You got housing crises coming up. We still have food deserts. We have a high amount of crime. And then last week, J.B. Pritzker and Brandon Johnson, and we can push post this letter. Maybe I'll send it to you when I hang up. But to let you know, you can post it. It was J.B. Pritzker and Brandon Johnson talking about workforce training dollars. So people that know, or if you've seen any of their workforce training programs in construction, medical, retail, things on those lines that we've always seen and heard about. around our community, they have said publicly that they're going to move those dollars to the illegal immigrants coming out of, they name the countries, El Salvador, Venezuela, Mexico, and maybe Ecuador. They name the countries. So our total dollars that have been misused, be clear, misused by people even that look like us in their fake training programs, while they get enriched, right? They are now moving those dollars away from us. So I just want to see, and I got to jump off, but I want to end because somebody touched on it. We are being replaced in America by people coming in through the border with complicity by the Democratic Party, starting from the president on down. So we got to continue to lump the aldermen, state representatives, governors. This is the Democratic Party moving on Black America. It's in every Black city, Baltimore, New York, South Carolina, Philadelphia, all the same crisis that we're under. It's a resettlement to replacing foundational Black Americans with illegal immigrants for voting. Because we're running off the Democratic plantation. And I think Carter said it well. Our bet defense is going to be, like it or not, it's going to be shifting our vote away from the Democratic Party. Now, I'm an independent. I vote for the person who's going to bring resources to our community. Our vote is an exchange for resources. Don't let anybody tell you other. We can feel for people if you want, but who's going to care about American Street and Foundation Americans in Chicago? You don't see people holding signs that say, help Black Americans like we do Palestine, pray for, you got to pray for Israel, pray for Palestine. When are they going to pray for Black Americans in Black Chicago?
Yeah.
Okay. We want to open it up for some questions. I want some of you guys that's in the messenger. Maybe you can call. I can take probably about 5 more callers, and you can ask anyone that's sitting on this panel questions. Again, this broadcast is open for any alderman that want to come on here and explain their situation. You're welcome. So I don't want you thinking we just blah, 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 blah. But you're welcome to come on here to tell your story, your side of the story. You're welcome. Jeanette Taylor, Bill, any one of you guys, you're welcome to call in. All right. So, in the meanwhile, since nobody called in, anybody can say anything. One of the panels, guests on the panel want to talk.
Can I say one more thing?
Yes, go ahead,
Brother Martin.
Go ahead.
We are right now seeking out an attorney that could file a class action lawsuit against the city of Chicago for civil rights violations, for just breaking law on top of law. And they're putting our lives in danger by bringing all of these illegal immigrants into our community, and they haven't been vetted. They're murderers, pedophiles, rapists, thieves, and a lot of these unsolved shootings that's going on in Chicago are being done by these illegal immigrants. They think that we haven't figured it out yet, but 2 of them was just arrested in Carpentersville for doing a drive-by shooting. And they said that it was no motive. Just what the police said. But if you notice something, Brother Martin, every time something like this happens outside of the city of Chicago, arrests are made. So the suburban police and other little small cities, they're handling their business. But in the city of Chicago, they will not arrest these illegal immigrants.
Okay.
Well, a few weeks ago, Brother Martin, I think about 2 weeks ago in the third ward,
I got a
the
question.
commander had a meeting.
Okay.
And the commander said at that meeting that they had been told to stand down. They can't, and if they arrest these people, they have to let them go. And as Sister Erica said, these are the degenerates who are coming out of these countries. They are attacking, walking up on Black men, attacking them, trying to rob them. They are accosting Black women, and they're begging for money. And if you don't give them money, they get an attitude. So this Brandon Johnson has put us in grave danger. Grave danger. There's prostitution going on here. There's human trafficking going on here. So the government of the United States, the state of Illinois, and the city of Chicago, they're breaking all kinds of laws. They're protecting these criminals. That is what they're doing. And I want this listening audience to understand, we are in danger. We are in a fight for our lives, and we've got to fight with anyone who fights with us. I don't care if they look like us, because these aldermen down here, they're not looking out for us. I don't care about them anymore. It's time over for them. We can no longer, as Carter said, allow these people to sit in that office down there and sell us out, because that's what they are doing.
Let me speak.
Okay, let me.
I wanted to speak.
Hold it, sister. Hold on, I'm gonna let you talk. Maybe you can answer this question for me, sister. Then you can answer this question. Harmony said Browning. She said Martin, ask him to address the fact that Black aldermen are scared of who or what. Maybe you go ahead, sister, answer that question since you're speaking next. Go ahead.
Well, we know what they're afraid of because they're funded by CPU, American Working Families. Did not tell us been on the payroll for over 10 years with CPU when I was down there. So they're afraid of not being funded. And that's what, all of those new aldermen, the ones that took money from American Working Families, CPU, and all those progressive organizations, where are they going to get money? How are they going to make $140,000 a year? Most of them have high school diplomas or a little more. Where are they going to go and make that kind of money? That's why they're afraid. But I do want to say this on the tip with the attorney. I am in court now. This is what I suggest. I suggest you find one person. You're not going to get these attorneys because it's just too complicated. I looked for an attorney for 2 years. I had to file my case pro se. Once you survive the dismissal process, you can get the judge to appoint you an attorney. So that's where I am now. I'm getting ready to go into discovery. So if one person needs to go ahead and file it with a violation of the constitutional rights, because if you're not an attorney, you can't file class action. I tried to file class action because teachers, so I know I had to file my case individually to represent them. So I'll talk to you about that. Who was that, Erica? Because we'll show you how.
Yes, ma'am.
An attorney, how that's done. It's a lot easier than you think, huh?
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with you, because I had to file a lawsuit against CTA some years ago, and so I know the process. And the judge will assign you an attorney once you reach a certain point.
And it's not a public defender. We just gotta file it and make sure they don't dismiss it.
Okay,
and we know that our constitutional rights are being violated. Okay.
I got another caller. Hold on. All right, caller. 8037. 8037. You're live Uncut. What's your comment or your question?
Hello?
Yeah, you're live. What's your comment or your question?
Yeah, I'm calling to ask if anyone went to the protest win.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, they was there. They was there Wednesday and Thursday. So you got to listen in. Any other question? We
no.
Well, you got to go back and rewind and listen to it. When we get off live, and they told you everything that went on down there. They said everything that went on down there. I
didn't see one.
Huh?
When I went, I got there at 10 o'clock, but I didn't see anyone.
Oh, you didn't see anyone? You supposed to went into the city council. They were there. These are everybody that's on this live. Just about everybody that's on this live right now that's on this panel was there. They was there.
Well, Brian, Martin, I will say this. When I got down there this was Thursday. There was another meeting going on, and this meeting was about business people and people getting more days off, even if they're part-time workers. The part-time workers get the same number of days off as the full-time workers. So they did take up a lot of time with that. And when I got there, the police tried to dissuade me. They tried to stop me, and I kept saying, no, I want to go up to second floor. So they kept saying to me, well, there's some other business going on, and they're asking us to keep people down here until that session is over, because the city council has not started, the business of voting on those referendums. So that is quite possible that happened to him, because I got there about 10:35, and so if he got there at 10 o'clock, he did experience this. He did.
Okay.
Brother Martin, can I say one more thing about Jeanette Taylor?
Yeah, go ahead.
She made the point to tell me that 17% of her ward is Latinx. And so I asked her, I said, oh, okay, 17% of your ward is Latinx. I said, well, how much of your ward is Black? She was hollering at me about the Latinx, but when she said the percentage of Black, she got real quiet and said 70%. I said, so why didn't you say, well, 70% of my ward is Black? Why did you concentrate on the minority number, which is 17%? 70% of your ward is Black, and you know that we're the ones that's suffering from sanctuary city policy. Why would you concentrate on the 17%? It shows me that she fears the Hispanic community. She does not fear the Black community. She don't think that we're going to have any repercussions for her. And the repercussions is she will not sit in that seat again. And this is another thing she said. It was 4 aldermen that sat in this seat before me. And you all didn't do them the way you put the pressure on them, the way you're pressuring me. And I told her, I said, you know what? You're right. I said, but you got to understand that we're at the fullness of time. And things are different. And we're tired at this point. And it's unfortunately that you're sitting in the seat now and you're going to catch all the hell that they should have caught.
But see, what you should have told her too, like 3 of them aldermen went to jail. Willie Cochran, a lot of them went to jail. It's the 2 women and 1 man.
Willie Cochran, right.
Yeah. So
Black aldermen have gone from being afraid of white people, Europeans, to being afraid of Mexicans and Puerto Ricans. And I don't buy this nonsense about them being afraid. And these people are making $130,000, $140,000, $150,000 a year. They are supposed to be doing the business of the citizens who elected them. I don't buy this nonsense about being afraid. Afraid of what? Afraid of what? That is an excuse. That is a cop-out to not do what they're supposed to do for us. Because as Sister Erica just said, we have not made them hear us. But if God is my witness, and I'm here, I will do everything I can to get these disgusting, disrespectful, no integrity, no principled Black men and women out of that seat. They don't deserve to be down there. You are down there to pass policies and to get our money. Send this money back to the Black community. $30 million going out a month to take care of illegal immigrants or illegal migrants, whatever you want to call them. What happened to that $2.2 billion that was supposed to be used for Invest Southwest? Give us our money. You're giving it to everybody else. They're down there voting on everything for everybody else.
I got a question to ask. And this is somewhat similar. Sister Doris, I'm going to start with you first. Now, for those of us that believe in God or a Christian or a black Christians and Miles, whatever your religious persuasion is, do you think it's wrong for us to say send the migrants back to Venezuela, wherever they came from? Do you think it's wrong? Because everybody's saying that people are attacking the migrants. Please, somebody explain to my audience what's going on about everybody's attacking the migrants.
I am attacking the policy of the United States government that's brought the migrants here. But since the migrants are the face of this, that's just human nature.
Mm-hmm.
The migrants, the illegal immigrants, need to go back to Venezuela or wherever they came from and fight their government. These are not asylum seekers. These people, this is an orchestrated plan by the United States government. If these people are running from whatever they say they're running from, they pass all those countries, Panama, Colombia, Belize. They pass all of those countries to get here. That is BS. And I'm saying to Black people, don't let them make you feel guilty because you're saying, give us our money, take our resources, and take care of us. This doesn't make any sense. You're going to take care of everybody else and not take care of yourself, take care of ourselves, take care of our children. My thing is this. If Black folks don't eat, if Black people don't have any place to live, if Black people don't have any clothes, if Black people don't have the basic necessities of life to live, I don't care if anyone else lives. First, the law of nature is taking care of yourself. It is insane. It is insane for anyone. It's insane. It's disrespectful for anyone to say that we should not be saying what we're saying. Go back to your country and fight your government. And then when they come here, they go against us. They don't go against the system. They're not going to fight the system of racism and white supremacy like we are. And these people know that, and they know that. That's why they're bringing them here. If you gave me bread, a place to sleep, and everything else that I need to live, I wouldn't go against you either. This is a plan to remove Black people out of this country if they can. But where are we going? This is our country. We built this country. It's ours. And let's not give it away to anyone. I don't care if they eat it, my people are not eating.
Okay. Next person.
I could go. And I'll say I agree with everything Sister Doris just said. And Martin, I want your audience to hear, we are still under this white Jesus Christian complex here that we've been fed some slavery, that we supposed to turn the other cheek, care about everybody else, worry about everybody but ourselves. Mm-hmm. That has made us the bottom caste of America. We are 77% of the homeless in Chicago. 80% of our kids can't read. Most of us are in poverty, living paycheck to paycheck. Why? What kind of sense does it make for us to lay down and let another group get the resources intended for foundational Black Americans using our tax dollars to help them? Now, I don't think anybody on this call, we're not inhumane, but we shouldn't be feeling that way. You should be feeling about self-preservation and helping your own people. We always fall for the okie doke, and they know this. They play on our emotions. They call people racist. You getting right now, I guarantee you, and you all watch this, they've already started. They're trying to paint people like us on this call as right-wingers and Trumpers, and we're anti-this and anti-that. We are foundational Black Americans that love our people, and we see through they bull crap that they pulling. We are right now the second largest ethnicity in America. Most of us don't know which nation our ancestors came from Africa, right? This is our home. We don't have a Venezuela to go back to, or El Salvador or Mexico. This is our country. And Black Americans need to start talking and thinking like that for the preservation of us in the future. They're trying to eliminate us, just like y'all read history books, and you hear about, oh, it was the Phoenicians and it was these people. That's going to be Black America. And in 10 years from now, the history will be a footnote in history, and America itself will be Latin. They're changing the populations while we're living here. If you can look at any survey, and you can look at it, people can Google it. By 2060, they're predicting us to be fourth. We're second right now. So what's going to happen to our grandkids and great grandkids when Hispanic and Asians population is over ours? They treat us like shit now. Imagine what they go to our grandkids who can't read, who don't have any wealth at all, zero wealth by 2040. These are real numbers that Black Chicago and Black America need to wake up to. This is not a game for them. And it's not emotional, and nobody should feel like you should be forced to help and fight for people. Again, I'm going to say it one more time before I hang up. You don't see nobody in Venezuela talking about help Black Chicago, help Black Americans. Why are we tied to that? South America is a Christian continent, Catholic Church all through it. They ain't praying for us. Why should Black Chicago feel obligated to give our resources, money, and emotions to people? Look, if you talk about Afro-Latino, Afro-Mexican, Afro-Venezuelans, Venezuelans and Mexicans are as racist as white folks against dark-skinned Mexicans in Mexico.
Absolutely.
They racist against us in Chicago. Why should we even entertain these thoughts? So I think I agree. They need to go home, and that's it.
And Brian, let me add this. There was no humanity when they closed 163 schools. Our children begged to stay in their schools. They cried. Their parents begged. They closed schools in the Black community where the children were walking across the street, like at Williams, to go into the building, and those children had to walk 40 and 50 miles blocks in the cold while their parents begged. Right now, we can't even get CPS to provide transportation for the students to get to school. Where were they? Where was the humanity when you fired 18,000 Black teachers who had PhDs and masters and purged the system and brought in some little Hispanic girls to take it, and white people? So where was the humanity? So I don't want to hear about anybody's humanity because you didn't have anything. And I'm a people person, but we have to look out for ourselves first. And these people are threatening our very lives, and not so much our lives, the lives of our children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren that will not exist unless we stand up and fight right now.
When you are in a war, you do not try to save your enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Logic, common sense. It's a war. As a teacher, as a counselor, you don't want Black children in these schools where they speak Spanish. They're very nasty. They're very mean to our children. These people do not like us. Understand what we're saying. I come out of the Chicago public schools of 35 years as a teacher, as a counselor. I have seen it. They are very nasty. They don't care anything about our children. They call our children niggers.
They do.
During Black History Month,
they do.
I have seen Spanish-speaking teachers show films of the civil rights movement when they're putting the hoses and the dogs on us. And I was a part of that movement. The children sat in those classrooms and laughed. Those teachers didn't say anything to them until I intervened. I'm telling you, we are in a fight for our lives and the future of our children, because all they intend to do is kill our children and lock our children up.
That's right.
Okay.
And George, I've been in the school.
Okay.
She's telling the truth.
I got two calls, but I want to hear from Sister Erica. Sister Erica, what do you think about from a religious standpoint? Do you think it's morally wrong for us to say send them back, or or do it seem like we're attacking them? Sister Erica.
No, sir. No, sir. I absolutely don't believe that we are wrong because the first law of nature is self-preservation. Now, it's unfortunate that Venezuelans and others allowed the CTU, Brandon Johnson, and the Biden administration to trick them into coming over here. But see, in my eyes, God stepped in on Halloween and brought that first snow in here so they can get a taste of what they're in for. These people are from a tropical region. They're not used to this cold weather. And Lord behold, if one of them little poor babies die or freeze to death out here, the blood will be on Brandon Johnson's hands, J.B. Pritzker's hands, the CTU, and Biden. They're the ones that should feel guilty for setting them up, telling them to come over here with all of these promises. We don't have any reason to feel guilty. Our first obligation is to our family and our children and our community. Period.
Okay, I got two new callers. Let's see what their concerns are. 019. What are your concerns? What's your question? 0019. Go ahead.
My concerns is that, like the sister said earlier, they close all our schools for our children to learn and have education, and then you want to start charter schools. Well, let's take it back. When they changed the Board of Health, the Board of Education, they gave our rights and our liberties away then. We never had a voice. We had a whole board that voted on everything. Now, we keep electing these officials to represent us, but when we put them in, they turn around and turn the other cheek on us. Is that we have 67,000 homeless people in our own city, and they don't show no compassion, no empathy, or try to help them. But we can go our tax dollars to help somebody else and make it a sanctuary city. Not only that, we have a governor that passes laws where illegal immigrants can become law enforcers. You don't even know the laws of the land. How can you govern a city, a state that you don't, a country that you don't even know the language?
Can't speak the language. Absolutely.
But you put them in our society, and then I look in the news, you have a Venezuelan that you just been here since April or March that got locked up 4 times, but you release him back into our society. You allow them to come over here and do harm to our citizens that pay their tax dollars. But when we retaliate or show aggression or show that we're not taking that, when you come into our communities, now we the villains.
Absolutely.
This is not acceptable.
Okay, brother. Thank you for that.
So
but we got brother Brandon in there, though.
Okay, go ahead.
My dear brother, I ask you to join us in this fight. Fight. If we fight back, we can win. If we stand up, we can win.
No, we can't.
We showed up. We showed out. And that's why we're having this conversation tonight. It is about our survival. We don't have a choice. This is the orchestration of the United States government of America, the most powerful government on the face of this earth. Those 8 million people who are in this country could not be here without the government of the United States sanctioning it because they want to remove us.
Yeah.
We've come through 240 years of slavery, Reconstruction, Jim Crow. This is our country. We fought. We built this country. Let's not turn it over to people who are just getting here.
And I want to piggyback what the brother was just saying so people can understand it. That coming to the country, They're getting link cards when they get here with more $5 a month. This is real information. They're getting driver's licenses. We don't even know their names. But they're getting the same driver's license as we all have because they're going to vote, right? So think of what the Democratic Party is doing. They're allowing them to get driver's licenses. Your kids have to get birth certificates and shots to go to school. They take little Ron out the police station and sit him next to your kid. No paper. I already got documented myself. You ain't got to follow the rules. Exactly. I mean, so it's insane that we, the taxpayers, got to follow the rules, and they are completely out of compliance with everything across the whole city. And I want black folks to understand that this is the Democratic Party doing this. We're nonpartisan in this conversation, but these are all Democrats, all colluding. The Secretary of State, the governor, the mayor, the alderman, the president, all against Black Chicago and Black America. It's not. It's just not the GOP in this time. We need to understand that. I want to say this last thing before I hang up, y'all.
Okay.
We have been victims. We have, for since civil rights in 1964, Black people have been voting Democratic. We were Republican before. Folks are conscious. But what we got
originally Republican.
Separate ourselves and push our Black issues, not Democratic issues. We've been sitting back too long, allowing the vote of the Democratic Party to equate the Black vote. So when we send these aldermen down there, they're voting Democratic. They're not voting Black. We need to vote Black.
Okay, I got one more caller. People, hold on 1 second. 1938 caller. What's your question or your concerns? 1938.
Hello, how are you?
All right.
I'm
good.
Sorry, my voice is kind of raspy.
Okay.
I feel like this. I've been living in Chicago for a long time. I'd say at least a good 30 years. I worked in like the warehouse field when I was trying to get a job. I noticed most of those jobs that a lot of people don't know in your community, a lot of these little small warehouses where you think nobody works, it's already full with Mexicans working. Mm-hmm. They stand right next to you. They hire maybe one or two Black to work there. They will not let you stand together or even talk to each other. They make sure that everybody around you speaks no English. So you feel isolated in a job that actually pays you pretty good and you want to quit. Here they are now, they're coming here, and I live by two police stations that I ride by all the time. One on 71st and I'll say 71st and Cottage Grove. I pulled up, I did have an extra stroller. I was going to give it to the Goodwill, but I will give it to them. But I pulled up, but if I wanted to go into the police station, I was surrounded in my car within 3 minutes with them trying to give me their child. They're already selling drugs and running drugs for the little young Black boy in the neighborhood. And they had just got here over there to the police station. That was before the tents came up. I feel like the kid that my girlfriend just almost got robbed right across the street from the police station by one of them. They don't have no plan. They are not making no plans. Brandon Johnson ain't made no plans. If they get arrested, they are here for asylum. If you're here for asylum and you cannot act right, you need to go back. That needs to be a bus that's going back. But it ain't just us. You got to think, it's a governor in Texas just shipping them here. Now he's sending them on planes, buses. He don't care as long as they're not in his state.
Well, they
So how should we feel about it? You know what I'm saying? But we are the sanctuary city. They already have had this way before Brandon, way before everything else. But now it's time that you need to rethink it and stop it. And stop it. And now it's time to stop it. Well, now they have no fear because ISIS ain't here to stop them. But ain't nowhere else in Illinois they can go but in Chicago. They can't go downstate. They're not going nowhere else.
Exactly.
Brandon Johnson.
It ain't Governor Pritzker because he ain't saying nothing about it because that ain't him. Chicago is a state, a city that he wants to impress because we give him the most votes. Yes. But I bet you any money, they're not nowhere else but in the city of Chicago, where it's supposedly a sanctuary city. Go outside here, they don't get them.
1938, hold it. Go ahead, Sister Doris.
Sanctuary City could be ended Monday. It could be ended Monday. It was done by executive order under Harold Washington. It could be done by Brandon Johnson. Now,
Yeah.
when Harold Washington brought Sanctuary City in, what that meant at the time, he said that Chicago would not turn these people over to ICE.
Mhm.
It had nothing to do with spending $30 million a month on these people.
Yeah.
This
Why
is
is everybody, they have no shots. They don't have everything that we have. And you know it's cold here. And they send them here, like you said, you almost setting them up for failure, but you giving them, they got cars already. We work every day and can't even get a car.
Hold it. Let me just hold it.
I live in Newport. I live in Newport, right across the street from the Lakeshore Hotel, where there are over 500. They have cars, they have trucks. All of those trucks and cars have Texas license plates. Now, I don't blame Abbott because the Texas cities and those towns are overrun. They are draining the resources of those states and those towns. I don't blame him from getting them out of there. And Brandon Johnson did not have to accept this. This is a plan by the United States government under the leadership of this devil, Joe Biden, Priska, and Brandon Johnson. They don't have to be here. All he has to do is tell them to turn those buses around. But this is a plan to bring them into Chicago, replace us.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Brian.
Let me just say this.
Yeah. Let me say this, Steve, because somebody brought up.
We got to let my panel talk first.
We're all looking at this, right? So we're watching. Somebody said that they got the black kids, got them selling drugs. Most of the migrants, the illegals in Chicago, are men, single men.
Mm-hmm.
So let's look at this. We've been in Chicago. Chicago's I-55 has been called a cocaine highway. The Guzman twins, the top lieutenants for El Chapo, were in Chicago.
Right.
Why are we sitting back thinking that the guns and the shootings and the drug sale, that these guys will not turn into, like somebody mentioned, M13, just like in LA, and eliminate us? So don't look at them like our black kids are infiltrating them.
It's probably already here.
It's probably the cartel members coming across the border to Chicago committing crimes against us.
And we don't know it.
And we ain't thinking of it that way. Well, we're not thinking of it that way. A lot of black Chicago now, we feeling empathy for them. But these guys are the cartel members in Chicago, and they're going to be turned loose on us.
Okay, guys.
I had a CPU went to Venezuela.
Last thing. Venezuela, in 2019, Chicago Teachers Union sent a delegation to Venezuela. They went to recruit teachers in 2019. Now the Venezuelans are here. And we keep talking like this to show people this has been a plan in action. It's not it had happened. It's not a migrant situation. They claim these people are asylum seekers, but nobody knows their names. That means we don't know what was happening in your country, in your neighborhood that you're running from to seek asylum. They're not even asking that question. So don't be fooled by that. They are resettling in Chicago to replace us and around the country.
Let's take some calls. Hold it, y'all. Hold it, people. I got 3 callers on the line. Let's see what I'm coming back to my panel, but I want to get these because we got about another 29 minutes. Well, maybe 27 minutes. 9875 caller. Go ahead. What's your concern or question? 9875. Caller.
Hey, Martin. How are you?
Good.
I just took you off speakerphone.
Okay,
This is Harmony Browning.
Hey, Harmony.
This is Harmony Browning over in South Shore.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to let everybody know that there's a Stop the Buses rally, Save Chicago from Mass Immigration. It's at the center of Inglewood. 838 West Marquette Road. It's Monday, November 6th. The doors open at 5:30. The rally begins at 6 p.m. and it concludes at 8. If you're familiar with Pamela Denise Long, she's going to be there, and Roy Beck, founder of Numbers USA. And they're going to be there, and you can ask about attorneys or it's like a civics education about how mass immigration affects the Black community. And also, let me tell you this, economic migration or immigration is illegal. It's in federal law. They can't come here looking for a job, for a better life, all that stuff. So that's illegal. Number two, those people, the governors or whoever else that's sending them to Chicago and the other sanctuary cities, they choose where they want to go. They're not making them go anywhere. They choose their destination. And we know that the only place they cannot go is Martha's Vineyard.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. Thank you, sister.
All right, so it's the Stop the Buses rally. It's in Inglewood, 838 West Marquette. It's Monday, November 6th, from 6 to 8, but they're going to open the doors at 5:30.
Okay.
And if you follow me, I follow you on Twitter.
Okay.
I'm Harmony Browning.
Okay.
And Pamela Denise Long is a very popular, she writes for Newsweek and other publications. She has a doctorate, she's a consultant, and she knows the Constitution.
Okay. All right, sis, I got to go.
And I just want to say, Miss Doris, I love you. And
love you too.
I'm really shocked that we have 20 Black representatives that can block anything in the city council collectively.
Right.
And they don't have the courage to stand up to do it. And it's just mind-boggling to me that you would be afraid of a union when you got how many of us are in Chicago? Is it 1 million or something like 500,000 Black people? And if you do the right thing, we'll have your back. But as long as you in there selling us out, you know, we not doing it.
Okay,
Vote them
Harmony,
all out.
I got to go to the next call. Harmony, I got to go to the next call.
Thanks, Martin.
All right, you're welcome. 1938, caller, you're next. What's your 1938. 1930, last 4 digits. I'm looking for 1938. What's your question or your concerns? 1938.
Hello.
Oh, what's your last 4 digits, ma'am? I need 1938. If you're not 1938, I'm not talking to you.
That was me, Brad.
I'm on delay.
Okay.
I heard a little bit.
Okay. 1938. You need to take your. Okay. 1938. No, I'm not calling you no more. I'll boot y'all. Okay. 4069. 46069. Go ahead, brother.
How you doing, Mr. Martin, Mr. Levante?
Oh, so what's your call? What's your concern and what's your question, my brother? All right. Butt naked truth in the house. Go ahead.
My concern is the lies that's being told by my people about today's society with the migrant situation coming here. You done this in 19. They just do this. See, you misleading your people. When you went into your thing in 1968 and decided to go into your own little corner on your own, what you think the Black man was going to do? Who's going to run the country? Who's going to run the country? Who is going to do all the manly jobs that was here in the United States of America? You chose to put the Black man out the job back then. This ain't just started now because, see, I have been working for Yellow Taxi in Chicago for like 15 years. It was all messages working. The man that taught me transmissions, he come from Aruba. He's born and raised in Aruba. He told me that when he came here in the 60s, him and his friends, see, they've been here a long time. But in the 60s they came, and they taught me how they got here. You know, some of them just walked on an airplane in another country, flew to New York, got on another airplane in New York, and flew to Chicago. See, they've been doing this since the 60s. This ain't just happened. My government has committed to acts of treason against the Black American in the United States of America. And I've been saying this, and I'm going to prove this, especially in Chicago. Because, you know, they pay money to somebody to come here weekly for years. Who got that money? See, nobody's talking about who got that money. Nobody's asking Jesse Jackson who got that money. See, they didn't listen to the Butt Naked Truth Show and figure out what was really going on in Chicago. See, I know a lot about what's going on in Chicago because I'm part of the Butt Naked Truth Show. They're not telling y'all the truth. They signed us over into this here. Earl Washington helped do this here back in the 80s. See, they knew they was going to get rid of us about all the stuff. They was going to give all us felonies. So they had to let somebody over here to take our job. Who else going to do the work? You can't do the work. You ain't strong enough. And I can prove this. This is in fact. If you go look at all the paperwork, like you say, people just got here. They even went and got the Russians and brought the Russians here and gave them half of the limousine company. Did you know that? He went and got some more people too. See, you don't know nothing. You think you know, but you ain't investigated nothing. Only thing you listen to is a clown that they give a job that he gonna say whatever they say on the paperwork. Have a blessed day.
Thank you, Levante. Thank you, bro. Okay, anybody want to comment to what he said? Anybody want to say?
Well, I'll comment.
I
think some of it, what he's saying, I mean, we get it. At least I get it. This hasn't been a long term. Just so you know, in 1964, they gave black people civil rights. In 1965, they did the Immigration Naturalization Act that allowed X amount of immigrants legally into our country back in 1965. That's a fact. But it's through visa programs, green card programs to work in America. So we started, and so the complete downfall of movement has started in the past. But now we at the end of that line. So I agree to it, you know. And in Chicago, we got Daley, we got black pastors, we got black leaders, so-called black leaders, all of them have been filling us out for years. And it did happen, right? We got black not-for-profit social services, black churches. There's a lot of risk and blight that took place. But we kind of come together now. I get the brother, and I understand the history, but we still try to salvage what we can do today with it. So he ain't wrong. Right. You know, there's a lot to it. This is a longer, deeper conversation that we need to continue to have about what happened in our community. I'm one for people need to understand the history, but history is still changing in front of our eyes. And I want to say to the sister from South Shore, I forgot what she just said her name was, that event she's talking about at the center of Inglewood, we're sponsors, we're the host. We're the Black Voters Project and Citizens for Civic Education, the one that's bringing in Roy Beck from back of the Iron Line, and our sister Pamela Long, Denise Long, who are experts in this field. They're our partners in this. So we're bringing them out. We want everybody to come out Monday again. I was going to bring it up. I'm glad she knew about it and brought that up there. We are trying to change policy and get people educated to the truth that's going on. So if you can show up on Monday, it's a free event. You will learn a lot, and we have actionable items so we can continue to organize our community. But I appreciate that. And I'm a South Shore resident too, by the way.
And look, I want to say this to everyone. The Chicago Teachers Union is the greatest threat that we have in our city today. They are not a union, they're a political organization at this point. Mm-hmm. That happened in 2010. And they were responsible for removing 7,000 of their own members. And they have been in bed with CPS and have fooled us. When they put Brandon, I don't have personal issues with Brandon, but Brandon cannot do anything. He has to bow down to those racist white people at the union. Go Google CPU racism and find the document where all the Black employees tell the truth about what they think about Black people. These are employees of the Chicago Teachers Union. And they have purged and fired most of them down there. So they have an agenda, and that is an anti-Black, progressive, white, racist agenda. And they don't give a damn about Black people, Black children, or the Black community.
Or the Black
and
principles.
They are the number one threat.
Well,
they have the money.
Yeah, they have the money and the power. They got I think it's 25,000 of them. Yeah.
Yeah, 25,000. Used to be 40,000. And when they had 40,000, Half of the teachers were Black. We had 19,000 Black teachers. We're down to 4. And Brandon only taught 4 years and was fired at Jenner School. So they brought him in there. They don't care about our community. They're using Black faces, like Brandon, like Stacy, like Jeanette Taylor, to make fools and idiots out of us. And we better stand up and stop being naive little puppets, because they got a bigger agenda. I have a book that I'm publishing, hopefully by Christmas. It's a tell story. I got receipts on everything.
Wow. Sister Doris, we probably got about less than 15 minutes. I'm gonna go down the line. Y'all give us our last 3 minutes comments, and that'll be it for the night. I'll start with Sister Doris. Go ahead.
We must understand, clearly understand that we are in a fight for our lives. And we better start putting some borders around the Black community and dare anyone to come across that border. That's just how serious it is. If 20 to 25 Black men and women, less than that yesterday, can stop the city council of the city of Chicago from doing their business, just think what we could do if we had 25,000. But it also goes to show Harriet Tubman was one person. Rosa Parks was one person. Ida B. Wells was one person. And I can go on down the line. All I'm saying to my community, to Black people, stand up, and let's stand up for our children. This is about our children, a future for our children, our grandchildren. Everybody else is preparing for a future for their children but us, and we are under attack from everybody. Everybody. We do not have any friends. We do not have any allies. These people are our enemies, and you don't try to protect your enemies. You fight them.
Sister Doris, hold your point. Let me say this to my audience. Anything that's left unprotected will be taken away. I'm going to say that to y'all, Black people, whether it be your family, your mortgage, your finance, anything. So if we don't protect what we got already, it's going to be taken away, people. Trust me. And that's not a sin to protect. When God give you something, you have to protect it. We're not going to lay down and say, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. We don't lay down. It's wartime. And we have to make way for our grandchildren. I don't think it's going to do so much damage right now until it hits maybe 4 or 5 years. And I guarantee you, you're going to have Black people sleeping in tents. It's going to be trading places. I guarantee you it's headed that way.
Yes.
Go ahead, Sister
And
Doris.
lastly, and one other thing, the Chicago Teachers Union, these are not educators anymore. These are gangsters. Anytime you go into a community where there's a community meeting and you try to stop the people of that community from coming into the building where the meeting is being held, you are a gangster. They're not educators anymore. They're gangsters.
Yeah.
Well, teachers don't run the Chicago Teachers Union anymore. All those people are community organizers. They don't run the union.
They're gangsters.
You got a few teachers down there that taught 4 years like Brandon. They're running everything.
Like I said, the Board of Education is not the same anymore.
Yep.
It's not.
If you all remember, we had superintendents with doctor degrees, Manford Bird type, back who ran under the Board of Education. Mayor Daley in 1995 is the one that took control of the school system and made it Chicago Public Schools. It has been downhill ever since. It's been a purge of Black Chicago, closings of schools, firings of Black teachers. 87% right now, based on their standards, 87% of Black children at CPS can't read and do math at grade level.
People, we got to wake up. We should be able to project out the future of those children unless we come in with an intervention and access opportunity and knowledge. You know what I mean? They'll mess around and be stuck in the bottom working for these immigrants. And I don't want my grandbaby to have to compete with somebody just got in the country 3 years ago. We've been here for hundreds of years. We shouldn't have to put up with that out of the blue.
And Brian, there's a reason why, and I'm going to do a whole education on the achievement gap. We need to explain to our community why Black students are on the bottom. And there's a very simple fix for them. I have submitted legislation to the legislators that are going to come up in the spring. We'll talk about that at another day. But we need to explain to our community what is going on with the whole language and literacy piece. They remove spelling and phonics and grammar and penmanship from the curriculum, which is the foundation for reading 25 years ago. So that is why our children are stuck at the bottom. But the Hispanics are getting additional language support. So we have to talk about those things.
And I want to piggyback on my last comment, Martin, before I hang up. Right now, when Brandon Johnson is in mayor, he appointed a 33-year-old undocumented Asian as the head of the Board of Education. Word. He only taught for 3 years. Who does that? So 33, not Dr. Rosita Tatondo with 30 years education experience or somebody else. A 33-year-old undocumented Asian is the head of the Board of Education. And he's with Pedro Martinez, who's the president of CPS, and all their programming, all their literature. You all see it. You look at the pictures on the website. It's immigrant kids. There ain't no Black kids even in the photos. They're telling us, we want y'all ass out of here. We got to wake up to this. It ain't even a secret. They are ignoring us. They're doing everything. They're writing us out of the record of Chicago while we're still here. And Black people, we got to stand up. We got one more shot, in my personal opinion. If Joe Biden is reelected, we are done as a nation, because I don't see what else is going to stop these illegals from coming in for the Democrats. So we really got to look at this, drop that red and blue or that fear of bringing in somebody to help. I tell you this, Donald Trump says this. On day one, you will see the largest deportation effort the world has ever seen.
And that's what we need.
Everything else. But if he gets them out of our country, that's better for Black Americans.
And they will give us the way.
Okay, come on, Sister Erica. Sister Erica, come on.
Brian was dead on point. And what he said about if Black people are deceived again into voting for Joe Biden, it's over.
Yeah.
It's over. Now, like I said, I don't vote Republican, Democrat. I vote for policy. Trump is the one that's speaking with the most sense. He said that he said build the wall in the first place, and now we see why he said it. We can bear witness to it. Now he said he's going to do the largest deportation operation in the history of this country. He also said that he's going to shut down this comprehensive sex agenda that they're pushing in the schools with all this transgenderism, with all this boys participating in girls' sports and boys going in girls' bathrooms, all of that. He said all of this stuff with these hospitals doing these Frankenstein operations on these children. He gonna defund them. So this is the policy that we need right now. Okay, and to put a point on that, Donald Trump is wrote in the book as being the deal maker. When I say the deal maker, he is the one that is supposed to make the deal for us to get our long overdue reparations. It's wrote that he is the last president. And this is the reason why they are doing this to this man, dragging him through the courts. Have you ever seen them do a president like that? And we know none of them were 100%, incorruptible. We know that it's corruption in the government of the United States. But has he done anything that the other ones haven't done? So, absolutely. We must put our vote where it will really count. And we understand that this illegal immigration is affecting Black people mostly. Okay, we're being robbed of everything. Our children are going to be robbed. Our grandchildren are going to be robbed. So if Donald Trump is the person that God put in place to stop this, we need to put our support behind him.
Okay. All right, people, we're going to end it right there. I got about 4 more minutes. 4 more minutes. Anybody want to say something? 4 more minutes. Any announcement that we need to hear? You guys make some more announcements while we're here. Sister Doris, make the announcement for Tuesday. For Tuesday.
The city council will reconvene on Tuesday at 9:30. We need everybody who can walk to come to that city council. Pack the chambers, because we expect the Chicago Teachers Union and these other organizations to be there with their people. People, we have got to fight back. Get away from the housewives of Atlanta and Tyler Perry and all that nonsense. We are in a fight for our lives. If 25 people can disrupt that council, we have got to get together. We've got to organize. So when we put out the call, come out. This is about your children, our grandchildren. I am going on 80 years old. It's not going to affect me. I am not suffering at all. I am doing what I'm doing for Black children. They deserve a better life than what I see for them in the future. Think about the children if you don't think about anything else. They are the future. We owe this to them. We owe this to our ancestors who came through the Middle Passage, Jim Crow, slavery, and everything. And if we don't do it, shame on us. And may God deal with us accordingly.
Beautiful, beautiful. I think I just got another call. Let me take this last call. 0921. Come on, caller. Real quick. Caller. You probably should listen to the prompts. 0921. You're next. Caller.
Hey, Brother Martin, how you doing?
All right, come on real quick because we get ready to end.
Hey. I just wanted to chime in. Dr. Umar spoke about this when he came to the festival about what's going on in Black Chicago. He said that could nobody save you until you save yourself and put up your own money on your own candidate to fight the migrant crisis that's going down here in this country. And then somebody said something about Joe Biden, but they eliminated the Speaker of the House, the Republicans did, because he didn't want to shut down the government, which would have hurted Black people. So they need to start voting on a local level and figuring out who they put in office for this House of Representatives and all that, not just the president.
Okay. You need to turn your phone down too, by the way. Okay, thank you, caller. We got to get out of here. Thank
you.
Okay, Brian, any more announcements for Marquette Road for the school over there? Brian is here. That announcement over there. I think they said I heard somebody said something about a bus.
Okay, Brian is on.
Okay. I heard somebody said something about a bus that's leaving South Shore or something. They did give a number, but
yeah,
they have to go back and listen to it.
Yeah, let me
go ahead, sister. Go ahead.
773-419-7417 if you want to join us in South Shore.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
And seniors, don't forget you can call PACE. called PACE on Monday, and they will pick you up and drop you off.
Wonderful.
Okay. This will end our session. All right, now. This
Thank
is
you,
live.
Martin.
Thank you
Thank
guys
you,
so
Martin.
much. All right. This is live.
You already
Uncut.
know what it is. Live, uncut, unedited.
This is where we
tell the truth
and what?
And shame the devil. All right. And I love being black. I love being
black. All right, people. Listen, people.
Being black.
Listen, divided we fall, united we stand. Let us put our differences aside. Some of us don't like each other. We don't work with each other. But in this case, we need to bind together and fight for one purpose, to protect what we have already, people. Anything that's left unprotected will be taken away. The handwriting is on the wall. It's on the wall. Sister Doris said it. She said she's straight. She's doing it for her grandchildren. It's not really affecting her right now, but it's going to affect her grandchildren. She's looking at the future, and that's what we're looking at right now. We're not being inhuman. Go ahead, sister. Go ahead.
And we're doing it for everybody.
Right. That's it. And
ours and everybody else.
That's right. All right. Appreciate y'all, people. Thank you for tuning in. This live, uncut, unedited. We told the truth and we shamed the devil tonight. Peace out. I want to thank all my wonderful panel for sitting on the panel with me tonight. I want to thank all the callers that was in the messenger, the callers that called in for your concerns. Thank everybody for not cussing nobody out, calling somebody stupid and dumb and whatever. We just thank you for let us respect each other, because I don't think no one on this live right now know everything. You know, the world is a big stage and everybody got their role to play. And I'm going to play mine. You play yours. She play his, play hers. That's it. Peace out, people. Good night. Good night. Live, uncut, unedited.